Unpause has come in, and we will get things underway here. Either whoops from the players. So we have Luminosity starting on the T side here on the first map of the first day of the ECS finals. And it seems that they might be headed towards the B bomb site, although could be the ladder room as well. We see most of the NIP players over towards the A site. Looking over towards Ivy at the moment are a few of them. And indeed, it may be the numbers game quickly over towards B here. And only Get Right is here to defend at the moment.
Yeah, so Luminosity slowly making their way down. Let's see if Get Right finds any contact, if he gets any information just yet. No stepping has currently been really made by Luminosity. I don't think anything for Get Right to see. I think maybe he saw a couple of players there, though, so the call has been made, and NIP are rotating a couple men back towards B, and they're playing the middle area of the site here, just really aiming to, their objective is to delay Luminosity to allow their teammates to rotate to defend, and here comes the push.
Right, so they're charging onto the side. We can see some headshots there for the CT side, though. And there's only 2 plays left for Luminosity already. Cold trying to do what he can. At least a bomb's gone down, so worst case scenario is being ticked off. And now there's only a Fallen remaining for his side. And he's got a Molotov down on the bomb, but there's a lot more ticking to do. Doing what he can. One more place to find out. Get Right, he hasn't got the health to do this. He's just waiting for Fallen to peek it, but he's got to go for the hero defuse because there's only so much time. Fallen's not picking wide enough, he's looking the wrong way! No, that's a disaster. He only needed 1 bullet, and Get Right takes him down afterwards.
All right, well, the 1-0, good economy there for NIP to kick things off with, and we already discussed how crucial that's going to be in moving forwards. Now, we're going to see a force buy coming in, or rather, actually, not even a force buy from Luminosity. They did get the bomb down, and it's quite interesting, actually, because Luminosity are a team that would be able to run a set piece with a force buy here, but instead, they're just going to get the scout on Fallen and a couple deagles there. Well, 3 deagles, in fact. So let's see what damage they can do. That's more or less the objective for them in this round. So we'll see if they'll be able to have some success there. NIP, of course, are going to be very cognizant of such shenanigans, and will probably be able to avoid them if they're careful. Obviously, they have the utility to do that, but actually, they are starting to run low. Only a couple ATs at this point. So Luminosity might finally sort of having some opportunities here to get some nice shots in there. If NIP are going to be peeking some of these angles, and see Fallen there jumping around, but what will he find?
NIP playing super passive towards B. Just waiting for Luminosity to play their hand. Fallen's looking for the entry. We know he's quite notorious with the scout. Spotting some players there, but no big damage done. Pierre's going to get taken down, though, but the numbers will start to lessen here for Luminosity. Cold, last man standing there with the bomb in tow as well. 2 HP, though. That nade is money. Almost. So he's just going to wait for somebody to overextend. But with 4 people, I think NIP will be patient. They won't be too concerned. Although it could be a bit of a worry over towards B with only 1 player there. But you can see they are acting on that, moving, I think it's Get Right into a more aggressive position to cover upper and lower on his own. And there we go. Freiberg goes looking for information, gets punished for doing so. So an extra frag here for Cold. 20 seconds left.
I was going to say, NIP, they've done really well here, but all of a sudden, 2 players are dead. Cold is hitting deagle shots, and now all the money is down the drain for NIP. This is a big problem. No. Oh my god. Cold's actually gonna... Okay, he won't get the bomb plant. Get Right finds his way to the bomb site in time. But that was ridiculous. I mean, they had him on 2 HP. They had 4 players left alive. And all of a sudden, they have 2 players left alive, and they're lucky to stop a bomb from going down. That's kind of a disastrous way for the second round to go there for the NIP side, especially considering they really needed that round to be clean, because the AKs can come out more or less immediately from Luminosity if they'd gotten the bomb down. So it's interesting, actually, that they decided to go with such a heavy investment, because normally you see a full save in that round, then they have AKs now, but because they got Scout and some deagles, now we've got some deagles again. So very strange economic choices here, and I'm sure the desk will talk about that later.
All right, so this is quite interesting indeed. Looks like they want to do some more damage to the economy of NIP. We're back on the rifles now before they go into their buy. If they can keep NIP low and then break them on the buy, then they have a good opportunity to rack up some rounds here. But first, we'll see what they can do setting up for the double peek, it seems. Taco with the 1 deke here, and Pit's got to be careful. Again, there are 2 people to peek him, and he may not even realize that yet. Smoking off the area, but there's still a minute for Luminosity to play with. The bomb starting to move a little bit. This could turn into an A split, actually. We'll see. Fallen shoulder peeking towards the B bomb site, waiting for somebody to overextend. He's down to Glock at the moment, so maybe looking for an AWP sooner rather than later. 45 seconds left, and Luminosity seems they still want to have another player peek and get a punish in. If they got a 5v3 situation, that would be pretty nice going forward. Taco first to go down for the Brazilians.
And all these peeks against the Deagle, every time you peek against one of these players, there is risk that you just lose your head and you die straight away. That is very scary, and you can see that. I think that Forrest especially counting his lucky stars previously, and oh wow, he's actually going to be to find 2 players there. Very nicely done, and that's going to be the round taken somewhat cleanly for NIP. But again, got to raise question to the fact that Luminosity had that so much investment in the second round when they could have just force bought if they're going to save kind of in that last round. So kind of weird economic choices, but either way, we're at this point where 2 AWPs come out. That perhaps that was the objective. That's why they did it in that way, was for that double AWP setup on this T side straight away. And that's very interesting because you don't see a lot of teams doing that.
Yeah, they're literally going for the big guns immediately. I was wondering if we're going to see 4 later on. But also a quick note, Fallen took a bit of a risk there. He chose to show the bomb over towards B and then rotate in towards A, trying to pull the CTs away. It didn't work, but I like the idea over there again with a little invested per player, so that's quite cool. But indeed, now the problem is for Luminosity that they need to get into peaking positions with these 2 AWPs here, and Forest has one of the main areas, being main itself. Nobody peeking towards Ivy either, so I'm quite curious as to how Luminosity plan to execute. And look at that. False sense of security, putting the smoke down there with 2 players in front of it. And now Fallen is going for the rudimentary style peek here. Can he get into the angle fast enough? Indeed he can. Down goes Forest. Minutes on the clock, lots of time for Luminosity to play.
Yeah, I mean, that was a trap to be sprung, but it was Fallen to spring it on NIP instead. Very nice work from him. And that's going to be problematic now for NIP as they've lost that man. That was the game plan for Luminosity, but equally, it can be quite difficult, quite awkward at times to push aggressively with AWPs quickly into a bomb site. But that said, it is Fallen on the AWP, one of the best dynamic AWPers in the world, and now we're going to see a movement from Luminosity starting to gather towards the B side of the map right now to go for that B bomb site. And NIP, they don't really, they're none the wiser. They have Get Right very defensively positioned here. This should be easy for Luminosity to just waltz right in there.
Yeah, so Get Right trying to go for the spray, but he's got 4 people coming in his direction. That's the B bomb site abandoned now by the CTs. And with Pitt going down, this might have to be a safe hit for NIP. 5 versus 3 situation. And indeed, we've got players moving towards Ivy there, and Get Right might try to get an idea as to where Luminosity are moving, some sound cues. But NIP, even with the players deep in towards the A bomb site, they chose to put the numbers over towards A as opposed to B, and basically were forced to abandon it. So it pays off for Luminosity. Very nice play there.
Yeah, I think NIP just deciding to do that classic play. All right, we don't know where you're going, don't have the men to find out. Let's just gamble on one bomb site. And A is the site that does make the most sense in that case. So NIP will play it somewhat economically, but we can see that the pressure that was being put on them in the previous rounds by the Deagle purchases of Luminosity has really paid off for them. And that's going to give them essentially a very good position to control the match from. All they have to do now is just win that one round, and NIP are really going to be crippled, and then Luminosity can get that string of rounds going. And that's where things can really start to get interesting as one of these teams pulls ahead. But NIP, of course, can stop that from happening, but they're going to have to do so with 5 rifles against 2 AWPs. So that's going to be quite curious. Well, you know, there's some choices there to make. Do they just play it super passively? Against AWPs, you kind of have to take closer or forward positions to punish the AWPers. So, well, we might see a fast play here from Luminosity.
And indeed so, at least into the yard area. And again, Fallen holding the passive angle, because if he takes the more aggressive one, well, actually, maybe the smoke is blocking him, but the CTs do get to that angle first. Again, only one person over towards the bomb site, and Taco is charging through it. That's going to pull a rotation here. All the CTs streaming back from A as well. But Luminosity aren't committed just yet. Despite Taco's charge, he is absolutely wrecking everybody who dares come anywhere near B, and that's going to be enough of an opening for his team to push forward.
This is an awkward spot for NIP because they have to do something. I mean, they can't just keep saving and saving and saving. I mean, it is always going to be an option, but let's see what they decide to do. They're going to be up against 2 AWPs here. They got no grenades, and that's the problem. Cold taking an easy shot there, long range down those channels. There's very deadly channels on the B-bomb site, and you can see NIP are going to think twice about it now as they at least steal away an AK. But there is a lot of players in hot pursuit, and that's going to be another frag coming in for the Luminosity side as NIP are now just down to one-man Forest, trying to hold on to his rifle. And Luminosity, they know how bad the economy is for NIP. They're happy to sacrifice men here. As long as they can keep both orbs alive, they're more than happy to do this. And maybe there's risk. Forest, can he finish off Cole Zero? Will he even try to go for it? Cole's actually going to be pushing the angle slightly, just passively holding it. Oh, there you go. Cole will take down Forest in the end.
In the face.
And NIP are down to a poor economy as Luminosity are in a really good position right now. This is very scary on the CT side, as the CT side start for the Swedes.
Yeah, especially as there's money in the bank now for Luminosity, but it moves it into a more interesting situation once the buy comes back in for NIP, because with 2 AWPs on the map, if NIP manage to win the round after this one, then maybe they can steal some away, but then we should see more coming out from the Brazilians. But before we get there, it is an eco round from NIP. We've got a few pistols here and there, a few bits and bobs, not much to really speak of. Fallen starting as he means to go on, not getting the second flick there, and he will get taken down. We'll see if Luminosity can protect that AWP from being picked up. We've got some CTs moving towards it very slowly indeed. Taco harassing elsewhere, and indeed Pit's going to try and go for it, the AWP that is. He'll get taken down by FNX, and there goes Exist as well. So the clear out is done, the second AWP is collected, and NIP will be back on the buy.
Yeah, and it's going to be all their money spent in this round as well, so they've got to get something done with it. There's no real other option for them to even think about. Of course, you know, they're going to be able to get knocked into the hands of Pit now, so that's going to be an interesting dynamic because they're up against 2 AWPers, and that can be pretty worrying at the moment because Pit, I mean, he's likely not going to want to play too passively. He's probably going to be taking some of these angles, as we see here from the connector area. He could take that angle, he gets there before the tease does, but he's actually going to go for a deeper one here. And well, there you go. Cole's going to already be opening things up there with a fast push, and there's the other AWP from Fallen. So now Pit has a lot of work to do with that AWP, and can he do it? I mean, Taco's just...
Everyone's dead there.
What's going on right now?
Everyone appears to have died on the NIP side. Not a single kill for the Ninjas. And again, it's a fast play coming out from Luminosity. And I thought Pit was going to stop in connector because, again, he gets there faster than the T's do. So he can post up on that angle towards main. But he tries to move into another position. He goes up on top of the train stoppers there. So if he gets pre-fired, he probably gets legged rather than shot in the chest. But then there's like the top alley. There's a fast pick. Forrest is over towards E-Box on his own. Fast pick there as well. No answer from NIP. Complete wipe out there. And now they are back on the eco. Luminosity just continue to build cash here as well.
Yeah, their money's getting really out of control, and that did look like they were up against an eco round. Now it's an eco round, and well, you might even probably see NIP doing a bit better than that. Odds are, at least. Either way,
it's hard to do worse.
Luminosity, I mean, so far they've shown that they can just move outside, but nice little kill and a dink as well to boot there for Pit, but can his teammates capitalize anyway? Looks like not, as we have Cold in position, easily taking down both assailants, and here's an extra one as well, and that's going to go the way of Taco. So 5-3, and Luminosity continue to build money, score, momentum in all senses. What do NIP have to show for themselves? Yeah,
if this continues, I do wonder if there's going to be a pause coming in for NIP, just to have a quick discussion and talk about what NIP are doing, and indeed, there is a pause coming in, so we'll try and find... No, there isn't a pause. There was a pause, but then there was an unpause, so never mind. There's no buy yet from NIP, so I'm assuming they want to pause the game, otherwise they would have bought, because there are 3 seconds left, so we'll see. Okay, there is the pause coming in. So, yeah, I think this is a tactical pause from NIP. I think it's a smart one, because they're losing players so quickly on the CT side. I think it's worth having a discussion. What are Luminosity doing? Because they're doing similar stuff. When they go for that fast play towards A, it looks similar. They're getting into that left channel from T main very quickly indeed. They're getting the picks there as well. And NIP aren't in a position to go for trade frags in those situations. And again, they're not really using the early peek from connector into main. I'm sure there's a reason for that. but it's leaving them exposed perhaps. Again, with Forest going down towards Electric Box and things like that, they just don't have any answer for any of the picks coming in from Luminosity.
Yeah, that outside play on team main is really, I think, the crux of the issue, as you said. Like, you can't really allow the T's to get out so easily just with those aggressive positions, because if you allow that for players like Cold, you know, with an AWP, which is what happened in the previous round, he's going to find some crazy angles. He's going to kill that guy on alley. He's going to have the opportunity to do even yet more damage. And the problem is that it just damages the integrity of your kind of defensive lines, having somebody down that deep so early on before you've established control. So obviously, NIP, they can't really be missing the shots they'd be missing. But on top of that, I think they can adjust utility in their setup a little bit. I don't think it's something that's it's going to be hard to overcome. What's going to be difficult to be overcome is the fact that that's only really the first play we've seen from Luminosity. Luminosity, they've been doing great success with that fast outside stuff. What about when they start to harass Ali and start combining it with some later round play towards T main and harassment towards B? There's so much that they can still go to, that for NIP to have to take a timeout at this point just to deal with that, just to deal with the fact that they are so easily able to get outside really with 2 AWPs. That's definitely worrying.
So NIP have gone for the buy. We'll see what they've bought very shortly, and I assume the unpause is coming in. But the money on Luminosity is completely absurd. Taco's got 14k, Cold Zero's got just shy of 14k, Fallen on 11k. They've got bags of money, which means even if NIP manage to win a round, you can see they've gone for double AWPs there, then they are going to be up against it straight away. And they're lacking in nades a little bit, having gone for the big green guns. And indeed, we will see 4 AWPs on the map at the same time, but can they make it pay off for them? I do wonder if they're going to go for the more aggressive angles. And indeed, this is the angle I was talking about. The CTs pretty much always get there before the Ts do, but Luminosity now with a change of approach, presumably because of the tactical pause.
Yeah, it's the alley play for them. Well, 3 players. They've left the bomb towards T-spawn, so just going to see what they can get done with this harassment. If they can get Fallen in a position to get a pick here. Obviously, the smoke's down, it's dissipated at this point, and double peaks coming in, grenades coming in. And the presence is now known. And this is a great adjustment from NIP with 2 AWPs, and there it is. That is why Forest is very capable, as already talked about, with that AWP, and he's going to be showing it, taking down the in-game leader of Luminosity. What is the response for them, though?
Nice counter flashes there through the smoke from Exist over towards the IV area, but they're still trying to charge in. Taco probably going to drop his own flash through the smoke. Indeed he will, and he's going to answer back. There goes Exist, and that's going to cause a rotation from the B bomb site. But the bomb isn't in position to capitalize on that. Taco goes down now over towards IV, and there's a man advantage here for the CTs. They've got Forest in, just holding an angle there, and Cold Zero's going to walk straight into that face first. In fact, that's the bomb down as well. The last 2 players are very out of position. It might be about doing as much damage as possible, as fast as possible now. For taking risks, running into site, can't do anything though, gives his position away. So FNX again, all that damage. They've got enough money to buy for round after round after round, and that is massive for Luminosity, even if FNX can't win a round, which you probably can't. Nice jumping there. Doesn't manage to finish off Get Right, but again, the damage has been done. Luminosity will have no issue buying again in the following round.
And speaking of issue buying, there's problems for NIP there, because I'm sure they wanted to keep the double AWP setup going, but we can see right at the end there, they were not able to rescue the second AWP that went down. So the damage that FNX did could be actually pretty astronomical going forwards, because that, having Forest on that AWP in that previous round was really effective. Obviously, he picked up a lot of really key kills. Great game sense from him to pick those up. And now they're just down to pit on the AWP. So what does Luminosity's play? They're back to the double AWP. And it's so cool to see that they're going with this as their default. And you can see why. Fallen straight in there with a quick kill, almost getting a second one as he's forced to back away. But the damage has been done here. And Taco again, back to his shenanigans here. Takes an easy kill on to Get Right. This cannot happen for the Swedes. They're in such trouble right now.
Yeah, it seems that Luminosity have a hard read as to the B play, and only one man being there because Taco's exploiting it time and time again. And this is so important. He's got the other end of the B bomb site immediately. There is nowhere to hide here for NIP. They've been wiped out once more, and that is worst case scenario we mentioned earlier. They win one round, Luminosity can go for max pressure straight away. They lose the next round. They've been economically reset. This is disaster zone for NIP.
Yeah, I mean, they could realistically go up to 11 rounds, Luminosity that is, because it's going to be, NIP will get so few chances back in now, because they need a double eco. They don't just need a double eco, we're talking don't buy anything type of eco, really. Like, we can see a CZ and a couple PT50s in the smoke. That's an ambitious buy at this point, considering how poor their economy is. Of course, if some teams would decide to force up, but NIP are not going to do that in this situation, respecting Luminosity's ability to stop any damage there. And we'll get a fast play outside as the play of choice to deal with the ecoing NIP. Luminosity will know absolutely that they are going to be ecoing, so pretty easy situation for them to deal with. And the scary thing is that usually the weakness behind the double AWP setup is the fact that you lack mobility. That's one of the core weaknesses. But with AWPers like Cold and Fallen, that weakness does not appear to be a thing, because they can go ham, they can go aggressive, they can lead the way with 2 AWPs from those 2 points. But we'll see at least NIP salvage something in this round, and Pit's going to turn it into something more, converting to a second frag.
Bombs rotating over towards B, however. So NIP, they've got nothing to lose here. Well, I say that, they picked up an AWP and an AK, so now they have a decision to make, and it seems the decision will be to save. Obviously, they're in a situation where they would have to double eco, most likely. So these are very valuable weapons indeed. Curious to see what they choose to do in the next round. But it's interesting, obviously, you know, in anti-eco situations, you'll often see somebody pick up a Max 10, for example, and just run in and be the guy to find out the information, see where the stack is. With the ranges, the AK will be infinitely more useful at the longer ranges. I'll cover more situations here. So they will leave one man to run into A and just die on his sword. And that's perfectly fine for Luminosity. Again, they're going to be surviving with 3 players. That's a plus for their economy. And there we go. That's the AWP down. And Pit doesn't have much HP to work with here. Nice. Slow peeking there by FNX. And nobody survives for NIP again. There's nowhere that is safe on this map if you are Swedish right now.
Yeah, that's really sucks. I mean, they actually could have bought if they saved both of those guns. So back to ecoing ways here. I mean, it becomes so marginal. This is kind of what I was talking about to some extent previously as well. You get into all these marginal spots where it's like we kind of want to buy, but we kind of can't, because it gets to a point where you realize that we just need rounds at this point. Even if we have a 30% chance to win the round with a worse buy, we're going to take that because we just need the rounds. But either way, NIP, they've done more with less. Let's see if they can take away some of these AWPs here from Luminosity. We've got Forest up close. Might just find FNX. Yes, there it is. Gets the kill, and he can steal away the AK. Positive result there. What else can they do?
They're scavenging, Dan, like beggars in Game of Thrones. Scavenging for the odd rotten apple. That one looks a bit healthier, though. Fragbank spotting some plays. I like this flashbang, actually. Definitely stealing that one. Can he get the frag, though? Yes, he can. First one to get his bell run, followed up as well. Get right, just creeping there. And indeed, the ding-ding comes in. And we are in a difficult situation for Luminosity. Fallen looking to charge here. He's probably going to give up an AWP in this situation. He's got 3 more to find, though. And there is no Kevlar on any of these players. Going for the plant, putting the issue on the CTs. They're coming in numbers. Oh, he just let go of the plant just a second too short. Oh, that's really unfortunate for Fallen. The money is not going to be that much of an issue.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, he's
16k on Taco. That's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty sick result for NIP there. They actually survived a lot of players, picked up some guns, and what looked like a really terrible situation, they actually salvage it. They pick up the 5th round, which is good. And now they actually have an AWP as well, and a bit of extra cash in the bank for a rainy day as well. But they must convert. They can't keep winning a round and losing a round. It just doesn't work like that. So we're going to get this outside a set piece coming in from Luminosity. A fast play perhaps has been working out for them, and definitely NIP are going to be conditioned to fear this at this point. But no, they're going to fake it and go to B.
Oh, and the rotation's coming in from Get Right. They're convinced it's the A bomb site. They have no idea. They're boosting Get Right up, but there's no sound, there's no flashbangs, there's nothing. And they've lost the B bomb site again, and guess who? It's Taco coming in from the back, of course. So the bomb site's been lost, and what is a decision of NIP? There's only so many rounds they can afford to lose here, but then their economy is in a terrible place as well. Fallen, interestingly, not going for the side plant, which we would see from Astralis in that situation, when they have complete control of the bomb site. Might as well go for the open plant there, so you can defend it from almost anywhere on the site itself. And again, it's a clearance operation now. The Luminosity removal service is in process. The van has the door wide open.
It is such a smart way to handle things from Luminosity. Again, like they conditioned the fear into NIP of those like super fast outside rounds with a few smokes. They throw the smokes just to make it look the same and then just go to B. And NIP are just so afraid of that A play that they bought it hook, line, and sinker. And then because of that, they lose the round. And we talked about they can't round that they can't afford to lose. Obviously, I think they had 2 players surviving with about $3K or something at the start of that last round. Yeah, so they can afford to buy here with the guns that they saved. But that is just great Counter-Strike here from Luminosity so far. We're seeing a great style of Train from them that most teams that you're not going to see with any other team, and we're seeing great mind games going on too. And back with the double AWP now for NIP, but can they make that work for themselves? It was for previously Forest that delivered there for them with that last setup.
All right, so 4 AWPs once more. Forest going for the earliest peak again, but Luminosity have yet more strategy in their bag of tricks. Pitt going through the smoke. So he's in a good position to get some information and catch somebody off guard. And there it is, Fallen, the in-game leader, getting taken down. Let's see what he chooses to do with the rest of his men. Moving into the A site is FNX there. Down goes Freiburg. No answer yet from the CTs. Exist gone as well. There's a smoke down towards Connector, so this might be the player for the bomb. Forrest going for the high ground, but he needs support from his teammates.
Yeah, just not getting the frags here from these players in the defensive lines, but back together with the orbs seems to be working out. Forest picks up a frag as well, and that's going to make things quite difficult here for Luminosity, but they did put the bomb towards that B-bomb side instead, really just tricking NIP consistently. And we'll see the retake attempt. It has to come in now, but there is a lurker in towards the A-bomb side. This Fur, he's down to 16 points of health, but just his presence is so incredibly annoying, and maybe he'll get a kill as well. Damage onto Pitt there. Very problematic. You can see how much he's delayed. There's still 2 players attending that only single man, just delaying them on that A site. This is wasting too much time.
They've got a side plant as well, which means that this time they can defend it from both sides of the site. And they've got plays on both sides, so this is an impossible task here for Forest & Co. And neither Pitt nor Forest will save their weapons into the final round of the half. And again, the money's been absolutely wrecked here for NIP. This is not a good first game so far. Let's see what they managed to pick up in this round. Again, we've had FNX and Taco just charging into sites and just carving out holes here for Luminosity to fill with more NIP bodies. And we see there's 1 rifle here in the last round for NIP on Pitt. So they do have the jumble sail by. They've got a bunch of grenades though, so perhaps they can use them to set up some choke points. To smoke off some choke points rather. Forest moving through the smoke towards drop again, but it's still another desperate situation here for NIP.
Yeah, it really is, and I just love how Luminosity have played this. They've been playing amazing Counter-Strike, and just the way that they've been using the double AWPs has been just such a joy to watch. And it's not something you can't really copy this, because you have to be so good with an AWP to actually pull this stuff off and make it actually consistent. So, well, we're going to see Luminosity playing against the jumble sail by, and NIP, they did win a round like this previously. Perhaps they can do it again. We've got Forest here in a forward position towards team main. Fallen, he's scoped up on the angle. Will Forest be able to get the shots first, though, or will Fallen? Such a battle of patience, neither of them knows. I
feel like NIP might have an idea of the game plan of Luminosity now. They're just waiting for them to overextend so they can open them up. So if NIP can be patient, then that's going to help them going into the next round. But how patient will Forest be? He's really being tested here by Fallen. Is he willing to strafe? Is he willing to hold down the A key? He is, and he's finally going to get punished for it. Such insane patience, and there we go. The train begins now into both sides here, but which one was it going to be here for the T's? Pitt with a 2-man spray down, that's the bomb down as well. 20 seconds, maybe Luminosity waited too long.
Yeah, we got a couple players there for NIP. Have they done enough now? Just Freiburg, he's just got to delay. He's got, as you say, 2 very weak players. There's the first frag. Can he get the second one? Yes, there it is. 1 bullet is all that's required for the last frag. And that's going to be the round. 6-9. I mean, it could have been a lot worse for NIP, all things considered. Getting 6 rounds there when in a first half which looks completely dominant from Luminosity. That's definitely something, and they'll be very thankful for that. But they've got to try to convert it on this next half, and they must win the pistol round. And they don't have the best record in some of the pistol rounds these days, which is quite interesting. But Luminosity do feel like it feels like they have some good momentum despite that last round win.
That last round, the mind games were bananas, and that's going to be, even though Luminosity lost a round, I feel like that's going to just go in their favor going forward into this half, because the fact that they're willing to wait until there's 30 seconds left just to wait for one person to overextend and then just launch your strategy based off that kill is awesome. That's really fun to watch. So 9-6, as you can see there, although it's definitely in favor of Luminosity, and Mousesports are not playing.
Indeed. We don't talk about Mousesports. So it's all on this one really for NIP. They've got to get this good start going for themselves. Get that pressure on straight away. Got the 2 smokes in. We'll see how they use those. That's going to be quite interesting. We've got the raid boss there, Tech9 and Kevlar for Get Right. And there is one of the first smokes blocking off one of the first channels of vision. Got one available for Fur and Cold, but it's not going to really be helpful, and they're going to get pinned down here and hunted. It's just Fur in this position. He's going to get completely destroyed by multiple players from NIP. And now there's 4 versus 3 on the bomb site. Luminosity losing control here of this outer yard. They're trying to battle back in, but it's not quite working out.
Bomb is still to go down. Everyone's heavily tagged here, apart from Taco, but it all comes down to headshots end of the day. There is a kit onto the Luminosity side, so they can take their time just a little bit. Just needs to find some 1 versus 1s here. Try to avoid getting traded. Such a difficult map to retake A on as well. So many corners. You look away for the wrong time for 1 second, you're going to get taken down just like that. Pick going as well, though. And now it's a 3 versus 1, so this is almost impossible for Taco. He's going for the hero defuse here. He might have the health to do it. He needs to get into the smoke, but he won't be allowed by Freiburg. Straight in the face there. That is an important pistol round for NIP.
Yep, Luminosity though, will they force buy? There are a team that definitely likes to do it and can very much do it. I mean, it's kind of crazy how consistently across the board their players were performing individually. Yes, a lot of, I mean, I think at the end of the first half, the top frag as well, it was 3 players. I think it was Taco, Cold, and Fallen all had 13 kills. But now we move into round 2 of the second half. And we've got a good buy, which is going to be very useful against these ecoing players of Luminosity, or the Kevlar list players, I should say, because they have a Mag 7 on Taco here. But no Kevlar. Let's see if he gets something from this. It would be pretty big if he could. Well, the AK there as well, and on Exist, just waiting patiently for any aggression. NIP playing it by the book, but will the book be kind to them?
Which book is it?
The NIP book.
How many chapters are in the book, Dan?
I don't have a copy.
Well, maybe we can get one a bit later on. For the time being, NIP are going for the slow march over towards Ivy. And people might feel like when the bomb is shown over towards Ivy, it indicates an A play. You can go for the push through CT spawn as well, but that's a very rare push these days. So Luminosity may have a good read on the situation if they see it on the radar. Push coming in from NIP now, but there are many players from Luminosity on the A bomb site. The pot shots coming in, the 5-7 to take down Exist to begin with, and that is a flurry of kills here. Man advantage goes the way of the Brazilians. They picked up an AK, but FNX has only got 2 HP. The bomb now making its way to the B bomb site, and it will be up to Freiburg to keep people entertained. But it seems, oh, I like the rotation there. Through connector, into CT spawn, back towards A. And that has split up the CTs here, leaving FNX alone on the A bomb site with 2 HP.
Yeah, Get Right's little play there has secured the bomb plant, which is very important. Now it's going to be interesting to see how this goes, because there's not really a big advantage here for NIP, because they're really weak on Get Right. He's got 9 HP, and all of a sudden we have the defuse forcing him out of his position. He's going to get the frag regardless. FNX is going to eliminate Get Right, but he's done enough there. He got the bomb plant, he got the frag, and now it's down to Freiburg, who's going to be able to deal the damage to win the round, delivering the goods there for NIP. But that was supposed to be, I mean, I think 4 players had no Kevlar on Luminosity. Luminosity didn't have a massive buy there. That the amount of damage that they did, they're going to be very happy. Yeah,
they just had to man them down on the A bomb site, and it seems that NIP had enough rounds on their CT half to catch up to Luminosity here, as this round should look good for them. They've still got the SMGs in play as well, so they can go for those information plays that we saw Luminosity do in the first half and such, so on and so forth. That Mac 10 especially will be very good as well in the close quarters corners around the A site, should they choose to venture over there. Luminosity trying to get a read on the situation and put the numbers in one place. And you see they've got an advanced position over towards Ivy. And maybe, well, I don't know, Fallen, I'm not sure if he's chosen to spot players. The P250 is not great even with headshots from that range. So maybe he's playing for information, although it seems that it's more likely he hasn't gone for a peek there. If he doesn't reveal his position and they go towards Ivy, then of course the one-shots will be real, potentially. So there's a very advanced position from one of the CTs over towards B as well, which is why Luminosity have 3 people in the A site, because they can get information fairly quickly, fairly early from Cold Zero. Sees Pit, but he misses a headshot there, starts spamming away, and there's basically no connection. Luminosity now moving into the B bomb site.
Yeah, looks like a pretty good take here for NIP. Should be able to get the bomb down without further issues. Able to deny some of the aggressors here as Forest with the fast play up the yard. And that is some easy frags. And no one dies. I think that's the first clean anti-eco we've seen from NIP. And that's an important one as we go 9-9 and the AWP comes into play for Fallen. There is a lack of utility, but will that matter? And this was what we were talking about too. Luminosity, they've got lots of cool little aggressions that they can do, especially around alley and main, so look out for that.
Full buy onto both sides now. The AWP onto Fallen. Grenades have been sacrificed by the purchases in the previous rounds. So again, Fallen going for that early peek there in connector. There'll be no early engagement there from NIP. They've got 2 men going towards Ivy, and they're just taking their initial map control over towards the B bomb site as well, where it seems Luminosity are choosing to put 2 people, maybe expecting NIP to try and exploit what Luminosity did, having somebody charge up upper, which was Taco, and take down one player who was there in isolation. So Luminosity will have the necessary support over towards B, but NIP are biding their time for the time being, maybe expecting some aggression from Luminosity. But they're pretty static as well, almost a straight line between both sites here for the Brazilians. A very standard setup, with exception of nobody peeking towards Ivy.
Well then, entry frags galore from Pit. He opens things up towards the pop dog area. Now NIP have control of the A site, although Cole is still in position. He's been spotted, and he will get finished off by Pit as well. 3 kills for Pit. He's going to single-handedly win this round for his team. Nice little fadeaway shot from Fallen, but I mean, if he can hold on to the AWP, he's going to be lucky. It definitely is in NIP's interest to hunt this down at the moment, but it's probably one of the hardest AWPs to hunt down. He's actually going to not hit that shot, but it doesn't matter. He's going to hit the follow-up. And there's only 3 T players left for the Swedish side at this point. Do they want to commit to this? Fallen's got a great position, so I don't like their chances right now in taking him down. Ooh, the pixel angles.
Yeah, it is a very key weapon for Luminosity going forward. Ooh, Taco just getting the save there onto for his team. So NIP take the lead now after a very difficult first half. And we see the struggles now with the CT economy. They are buying up though. We're seeing a scout coming out into Cold Zero. Got some FAMAS here as well. Or a FAMAS. There is another M4 on the floor here for Taco. So I wonder if NIP continue to have success, will we see more aggression from Luminosity? We saw some rounds where NIP chose to, on their CT side, take a main, for example, away from the Ts. But indeed, it seems, at least over towards A, Luminosity are content on being passive to begin with. But again, we've got Fallen going aggressive towards B, which allows them to get extra men in towards the A side. So it seems that's where the aggression will be here for Luminosity, just waiting for NIP to play into the strengths of the Brazilians.
And it's quite cool to see that Luminosity are taking it easy for now with these passive setups, because as noted before, they are known for liking those aggressive plays. Don't want to be too predictable. They've shown that they know when to throw them in, and that's the timing of it is always going to be the most important decision. Now we've got falling back there, sort of forced to do that as he gets pressured off the position. And right now, Luminosity are none the wiser as to where NIP are really going. But there's 50 seconds left, so action has to start happening now. And it will. We've got NIP moving down Popdog, setting up the triple-pronged attack here. Popdog, T-Main, and Ali. Just waiting now for some of those smokes to go away, but they are starting to run low on time.
Yeah, and again, Luminosity still have 4 people over towards the A bomb site. They've got a player in connector in the position to rotate either way, but it seems they're banking on it being A. Fallen's coming in as well, so this should be a interesting situation for both teams, but GetRight's getting the frags there. 2 kills for him, and the CTs are disappearing despite having 5 people basically on the A site. They can't get the frags, but first coming back. The bomb's not down yet. They're attempting it. Can first stop it. There's not enough time. Exits just about gets it down. Still a man advantage now. Trades for both teams, and it will be NIP taking it over the line there. 2 players surviving as well. And they went to pick up the AWP, but found a scout and didn't collect it. 2 rounds ahead now are the NIP side, and Luminosity are in an interesting situation economically.
Yeah, NIP had a really nice execution in the outside there of that aggressive play, and now, well, I mean, they definitely took their sweet time about it. That was a really slow round when all was said and done. They didn't get the bomb down until 10 seconds left, so really showing that they can put Luminosity through the paces, the fast, the slow, and the medium. Now it's a triple mag 7. You don't really see that every day. It's going to be very fun to see how that pans out for them, if it pans out at all. Now we've got Fallen there just waiting below Popdog. We've got Taco on the corner, on the stairs here, up from the B-bomb site. And NIP, they're going to have to go close. They have shown that they throw pop flashes, but actually where Taco's standing, the flash usually goes a bit further, so he might not even get flashed. So without a pop flash, you expect Taco to get a kill here, and that's actually quite scary. There is no Kevlar on anybody, and here it is. Taco only get 1 chance, and there he's going to hit the shot straight to the face. Pit goes down, can't get the frag. Fallen trying to make use of this distraction there, jumping up the ladder, won't get a frag though. The damage has been done, and NIP are definitely going to be feeling it, and they're none the better for it. They haven't gained any position here. Taco goes in for another one, but he won't get it this time.
Indeed, and there's flank attempts coming in here for the CT. Still a player on the site as well, so distraction can be run. FX trying to do damage, maiming to Blaze it. There goes Exist being finished off. Only so many bullets though, but before he runs out, he will get taken down. So 2 plays left here for Luminosity. Probably going to go for it in the situation, I think. Going to be hard to get close though with that CZ. Freiberg holding the angle, and indeed he will finish off the cleanup operation here for NIP. So again, after the difficulties, the rough start on the CT side, they are enjoying the fruits of their labor on the T side. Double ops coming out again for Luminosity, but they need to change something up. They have a pause available to them as well, should they require one. And again, are we going to see a more aggressive Luminosity over towards A? We've seen aggression towards B to put extra players in A, but they've still been passive on A, and it hasn't worked for them. Yeah,
it's going to be very, very fun to see how this double plays, because they still haven't thrown in aggression, but there's the peak, and you can't peek cold like that. Forest is going to go down, and an early round advantage for Luminosity. It's definitely going to be more, well, easier to deal with on the T side, losing a man early, but it's never going to be nice, and it could get worse for them now, because Fallen is on these angles as well as Cold. So NIP, they've got a decision to make. Either they decide to try to go and pick a player back and risk going 5 versus 3 against some of the best AWPers in the world, or their decision is going to be taking some map control with grenades and pushing as a unit and trying to trade into position. Those are the 2 main choices they have at this point, already a man down, so those are not easy choices to make. And it looks like they're just holding it statically at the moment.
50 seconds left here, and again the bomb's over towards IB. There are 2 players for the CTs in that area. Meanwhile, GetRight's getting taken down, so indeed it is the 5 versus 3 here. Smoke's coming in. Pit's got a 1 versus 1, and Fallen is going to put a stop to that. Bomb spotted as well, which means a full rotation coming in from the CTs. The flanks coming in to Exist as well. He's over towards the pop position. That's a 180 from Fallen. That is a bit ridiculous here, leaving Exist alone. So Luminosity not out of this yet, looking good for double figures here. If they can survive with 5 players as well, definitely need to go back into the game. If they can survive with 5 players as well, then that's going to be a really good boon for their economy. Double peak coming in to try and ensure that Exist can't do any damage. So 12 to 10 in favor of NIP. They are great for money. They've got 1 player on $10,000, so they'll have no issue buying in this round. The AK is coming out again. So the pressure will continue on to Luminosity, but surviving with 5 players is very key here for the CT side.
Yeah, it really is going to maintain the integrity of that economy, especially with the double AWP purchases that they really truly love to be going with. And you can see why. Picking up 2 frags, or rather, sorry, picking up all their frags pretty much with the 2 AWPs there, all the impact frags that last round. Definitely shows you some of the fearsome nature behind those massive guns in the hands of the Brazilians. But now Luminosity are going to start to feel a bit of pressure here much earlier into the round as NIP pick up the smoke grenades. They toss them in, and FNX is going to try to defend from this E-box position. So far, so good. 3 frags, a flurry of kills going the way of the Brazilians now as they hold it down. It's just Forest and Freiberg as they try to march their way into a bomb plant, but it's not happening. Fallen with another shot to take down Forest, and the hopes with NIP as well with that bullet as they finally lose the round. Luminosity bouncing back with the AWPs.
And 12-12 might be on the cards here because NIP's money is now in a difficult situation. So they may not be able to afford a buy here. It would be a risk, considering you've got Forrest and Freiberg who are quite limited on money, let alone Exist, actually, who's only got a clean $2,000 here. So NIP starting to run into trouble. Luminosity had a great momentum in the first half. If that can continue here, then we'll see if that can tilt NIP over the edge. But for the time being, it seems they might be going for a fast play. Get right to lining up the pop flash in case anybody's holding close on B ramp. And it seems his team are going to charge in with that flash. So here it comes. Taco though is holding off angle. The Molotov as well is going to be great for him to spray down. That is massive damage done there by the Brazilian. And again, it's fantastic for Luminosity's economy, surviving with all 5 players intact. That's really going to help for the rounds to come.
Yeah, 12-12. It's all equalized once again. NIP looked like they were coming straight back in, but again, Luminosity rearing their head with that double AWP play and showing exactly why it's so strong for them. Now as we go into the 25th round, this might go all the way between these 2 teams, unless, of course, NIP cannot find an answer for the AWP play. But on the T side, it should be easier to do that. You know, you can really restrict the AWPs with grenades, smoke grenades in particular. And this is what I talked about before. Fallen pushes these angles with the AWP. You don't see many people doing that because it's hard to fall back. He's got the support from Taco there. He gets out of there in time, but it's going to be Third taking down Get Right towards Team Main. That's going to start to gut the offense before it can really get going with a push into the A bomb site, which did look like the objective. But now they're thinking about changing their plan, pulling people back from alley to collect the bomb.
Yeah, I do wonder if we're going to see an attempt at a older, perhaps more traditional, if you will, executing into one of these sides, but Fallen is not going to allow them to have the numbers to do so here. 5 versus 3 now, things slipping away again for the NIP side here on Train. What do you do with 3 people with AKs versus 2 AWPers and 5 Luminosity players who definitely want to solidify their title as the best team in the world, with Fnatic hot on their heels here at ECS? It seems what remains of NIP in this round will head over towards the B bomb site here. They've got smokes and flashes, so they can try to put in work here and smoke up the site. Some sound cues being given away here, and that's going to give time for a rotation to come in. There's a second play now moving in to be from Connector.
We've got Taco waiting to receive them, and Fallen also waiting with that open. There goes another one. It's looking too easy right now. Only Forrest to respond with a frag. It's a quick headshot, but that's all he's going to get as Burr eliminates him. And these AWPs, man, it's just Fallen, just picking them to pieces at the start of the round. That first frag there to make things really bad, going down to 3 players. Just consistently showing you why he's been given that title recently as maybe the best AWPer in the world. Because just the fact that he can do this against top-level players, just peek them, and he's so fast on the shot as well, that he can get out of there even more quickly, back to safety. It's just such a problem. How do you deal with that kind of play if you don't know where it's coming? He can be everywhere.
So Luminosity around ahead now. NIP on the pistol Kevlar buy. Got a helmet here and there. But, well, they've got players deep into the A site, actually. They've got good potential for a split, but again, the bomb is coming in towards Ivy. Fallen trying to slow them down and move into a better position, and that's why he might be the best AWPer in the world. Trying to reduce his risk here, and FNX coming in for great support as usual, but we've got players close now, all being picked up, getting dropped again by Pit. Forest now manages to collect it. 2 to find, but he can't get it done. And that damage is not going to be significant. You can see Taco there with $10,000 in the bank. They needed the round, and they failed to get it.
Yeah, just 2 more now. Looks like it should be, at this point, sort of an easy path for Luminosity. Again, NIP struggling to deal with the AWPs, and I'm surprised we're not going to see, or we haven't really been seeing any, just fast, straight-up set pieces against the double AWPs. I mean, obviously that's one of the weaknesses to the AWPs. And so far, Luminosity have been showing all the classic weaknesses of AWPs. Doesn't quite so much apply to them, and that is why they choose to go with it and make it such a successful style of play. And Cold goes forwards there. The counter grenades are in, and the pre-flashes to stop him from getting a pick, and it works. He doesn't get a kill. He's stuck in a forward position. We've got frags being traded there as well. And Cole's still stuck in this forward position. Able to get out, though. The smoke is going to be able to provide ample cover as he's now to safety. And we're into a 4 versus 4. And Luminosity have 2 men per site. So there is a lot of chance here for NIP to actually finally manipulate rotation a little bit and maybe find an advantage into a bomb site.
2 players over towards B. And 2 players deep at the back of A means very limited information here from Luminosity. NIP still have a reasonable amount of time to play with, and they are going to use that time as much as possible. But they're in some situations over towards Pop, over towards Ivy, where there's only 1 player. They can't trade. And Luminosity, they want to fight on the sites, it seems. You see Cold holding the angle there towards Ivy. And now NIP start to play their hand, make their intentions known. We've got movements in various places over towards the A site. Fallen on the site itself now, just trying to play around these angles where he can retreat very fast indeed. Nice kill to exist there. No answer just yet. Get right going down as well, and the rest will be soon wiped up. And it's match point here for Luminosity versus an NIP who are going to have a difficult financial situation.
Fallen is so good. He is so good at this game. Some of those shots, man, he's just so confident in connecting them, and it's so quick. It's just unbelievable, the efficiency that he has there. And he's on 27 kills right now. He's top fragging on the server. Taco close behind with 24. Nice to see Taco up there. And, well, NIP are having to resort to a Galil, Tech 9, and 3 AKs with limited grenades. That's all they can scrap together. So it's time to make something work. We've got Taco up close there by B to maybe get something done with Cold Zero up top. This is the main defense right now. And their result here can obviously really turn the tide and
boom,
get a trade coming, and that's pretty big stuff. Although Taco, he just has to hold NIP off now. Goes in for the kill, gets 1. Bomb can go down now, but there are problems here for NIP.
Yeah, they've got an opportunity to plant a bomb, but maybe not the personnel. The Molotov is going to allow the flank to come in, actually, from, I think it might be Fallen there. There's Taco, in fact, and he gets a 2nd kill and the 3rd one. So, Luminosity savage NIP towards the end of that 2nd half there. Very strong performance on Train by the Brazilians. And it was a good comeback there from NIP. It looks like maybe the game was lost in the 1st half there, but they won the pistol. They won the pistol. That was really loud. They won the pistol and had some good momentum there. But then Luminosity, I think they took 7 rounds in a row towards the end. Or is that even 8? 7? I think it's 7.
I mean, look, 16-12, I mean, it kind of sounds close. And some of the rounds kind of look close. But then there were so many rounds where Luminosity just walked over NIP, where either it's just the individual skill of the AWPs, where they were just uncontested, going for these quick peaks, just with no flashes, nothing to really, like, it's seemingly NIP didn't expect it, and it would always catch them off guard, and then always they'd be in this bad position, then having to take big risks. Then the big risks would be met with, obviously really skilled players of Luminosity, and it just went downhill repeatedly in those kinds of spots. So that they just got dominated. They just straight up got dominated. I would love to hear what NIP have to say about this matchup, because obviously it's a stylistic thing. to a large extent. The double orbs, they are so good for Luminosity. I didn't expect it to be so crushing.
I think one of the important things, especially I think you saw a good example of it on when Fallen was over towards Ivy and moved back towards Train when he heard the players pushing through Ivy, is the support that FNX gives to Fallen when he's AWPing. I want to say FNX got 2 kills in that scenario, but you can see it over towards on overpass as well on their CT side. There's always really strong support for Fallen's AWPing. So if he is in a situation where he needs to pull back, but he can still hold multiple angles, then he's got a rifler in tow as well, and that makes things really good.
Yeah, their team